not going to Coachella this year. So.
Who are you most excited to see, Kev?
Oh yeah.
Blackpink, I think, because I just seen them. Their
They're gonna
live
be
shows
so
are
good, dude.
yeah.
They're gonna be so
Frank
good.
Ocean, obviously.
Oh,
I think Frank Ocean's like a legend,
Shit.
right? It's gonna be incredible to see him.
You could have gone.
I could still go.
The original plan was for her to go for her birthday.
Probably still can.
Yeah, I mean,
See people flipping tickets and stuff.
yeah, true. I mean, no, I don't have money for that. Did I tell you I'm going to EDC? Okay, well.
Oh my
Give me
god.
a little bit more time to be
I'm
able to
back in high school. I'm back in college. What, EDC Vegas? What?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
No, okay, it's
You are that. Oh my god. You're like that. Okay, Gloria used to go to EDC and she would be at those pool parties and everybody in the background were Asian. And I bet you're one of them. You know what? I bet you and Gloria have met each other before.
I could see me and Gloria hanging out, honestly. Oh,
You're
psych,
going to
we
EDC?
did.
Episode 3. What?
Welcome. What the fuck?
Season 3. Episode 6. Welcome
to
the Energy and Heart Podcast.
hosted by
Jiggy.
and Steph.
At least I got that right.
Dude, you know, for a hot second, I didn't know it was ta-da.
Yeah, you always thought it was yeah.
Yeah. Updates? Weekend updates?
I'm not doing that right now.
Okay, I'll start with the
I
weekend.
do not want to share about my weekend. yet.
I'll share about my weekend.
One day.
Well, last Friday, Kato and I hung out met up with someone, who is now a new friend, but new character.
New character. It's been so long.
But yeah, Kato and I have been hosting in relationship with sessions with Asian Mental Health Project for the last quarter. And there's people that we're always connecting with like in sessions, but this one particular person like reached out and was like, hey, we should meet up. And so we did. And I was like, I left that conversation feeling so nourished, so filled, so full, so like, wow, I've never gone into a conversation like first meeting somebody and came out like that fucking excited. And I think what's really cool is because like he knows RBTL without ever taking RBTL. He knows fellowship without taking fellowship. So what I mean by that is just like he's incredibly skilled at just like really involving everyone in conversation and creating a sense of belonging. He's very grounding, like his aura is very grounding. And he's just so present. He is a big believer in like slowing down. And it was really funny because we were at California Market and the sun was setting and then he just like pulls us over. He's like, yo, like look at this sunset, like it's so beautiful. I know if we were in a different country we would be so stoked to see this, but it's because we're here, we think it's like, you know, accessible to us every day. I just want us to be present to that. And I was like, this is different. And so yeah, I just really enjoyed our conversation with him. He was just like, so the only word I can explain this is like he's very life-giving. He's somebody that I would like want, like it's very rare I come to you and just like, I need you to meet this person. I need you to meet this person. So
I mean, the last time you did that, it was Jamie and Carrie.
Yes. Yeah. Yes.
And it landed. So
yes. Yeah. So I'm very excited and he's a dude. And so I was just like, oh, like I'm just
have to point out that it's a dude.
No, I have to say that because I feel like rarely do I find myself excited about dudes, like impressed by dudes. So yeah, just thought I would share that.
Oh my god, you sound like when you have a baby shower. It's a dude.
Maybe we should have friendship showers, you know?
Oh my god,
that's kind of fun.
Wow,
we should do that. Like we have so many circles of friends. I feel like we could bring some people together. So.
A new friend.
Yeah,
it's a dude.
Yeah. We should have new character parties. That's
yeah,
that would be fun.
That'd be sick. I was just thinking about how you introduced like relationship with on the podcast
I
season
did
one,
season 1.
and
Yeah.
it's come such a
Yeah.
like a long way, and now it's in collaboration with Asian Mental Health Project, and
Mhm.
you're reaching even more people and repeat attendees too,
Yes.
and now to a point where you're meeting up in person
Yeah,
and
yeah.
and also like making such an impact where it's not like anything relationship wise. It doesn't mean that it's to help you stay together. Sometimes it's to just bring
Mhm.
clarity, and that sometimes that clarity is that you separate and go on your journeys individually, and
Mhm.
even that has happened, but it's because of the clarity you and Kato provided. Like, wow,
Yeah.
this thing has come a really long
You're
way.
right. I was really nervous that first one. I remember
Yeah.
that episode.
Yeah.
But yeah, it really has. I'm actually very, very proud of this project. It's probably reached close to 1,000, probably close to 1,000 individual people have like registered for our sessions, and we actually started our YouTube channel.
Oh, I
Like,
saw
yeah,
that.
and
I
so
still gotta
like
check
it's
it
like,
out.
yeah, it's just like the recordings in case people aren't able to reach it. But I think it's just like really cool that people have reached into my DMs asking like, hey, do you guys have recordings? And I'm just like, y'all really want this, like,
Mm-hmm.
and so it just feels good to know that like it's resonating with people. And yeah, it really has come a long way. Yeah.
Me being me, I'm like, oh, I can totally see you one day having your own little conference or your panel up on stage, like all
Just
this,
invite me to yours.
like, oh, yeah, you know what? Yeah, my conference, yeah, Jiggy and friends, yeah, and just have like a tan orange couch, and you just sitting there. You probably have like a romper on or something like that, and talking about relationships with your hoop earrings, and everybody's just like, yeah, just us like so in awe of Stephanie Tran. I was like, oh my God, it's Stephanie Tran. But this one, because there's so many
I
Stephanie
know.
Trans out there.
There really
I have
are.
another friend from college named Stephanie Tran.
I know. It's a very common name.
Uh,
Yeah. Well, that was one of the highlights of my weekend. Um,
but I guess that can segue into what we wanted to talk about today. What you mentioned on the walk here. When we
yeah.
drove here, we had another topic. But
Yeah.
then once we started walking out of the car into the studio,
Yeah.
she was talking about something, and I was like,
Yeah.
that's brilliant. That's the one we gotta talk about.
Yeah. So yeah, we're big believers in like speaking to what's aligned or like on your heart. So sometimes we have a different topic and then we like change our minds. But yeah, the other highlight of my weekend was that I was watching Beef, which is a new series on Netflix. I think produced also by A24, featuring Ali Wong and Stephen Yoon. And I was just telling Jay, like, it's been incredible to watch like an Asian American, like, just actors and actresses like on screen, but not just that, but it's just like real life depictions of like what we're experiencing. So obviously, like when we think about Everything Everywhere, it's still like fantasy in some ways, right? But like I think this was very realistic to like what could actually be happening in our lives. And when I was watching it, I was thinking about how Kato wants to be an actor, but how I would never want to act. But I was very impressed by the people who directed and produced it. And I think about how so many people produce really extraordinary work. Like when I think of Everything Everywhere All at Once, it's super extraordinary. You're talking about people just nonstop talking about it, celebrating it so much, like loving it, quoting it. Like people clearly have their attention, like enamored, like basically by something that somebody produced, something that somebody created. And so the question that's been kind of coming up for me lately is just like, what do I want to be extraordinary in? Like when I think of Everything Everywhere, I think like, wow, that's extraordinary. Where I was watching Beef, I was like, wow, that's really extraordinary. And it just made me wonder, like, I've never personally wondered that, and I'm sharing this because I feel like a lot of people who may be watching like may feel like, oh, like I was followed what I was told to do, or like I was influenced by other people to like make this decision, and now I'm sticking to that. But like I think for me it was a very similar story. Like parents told me like should become a physician, so like I should pursue that. But I think ever since like going into entrepreneurship, I realized that it's not my parents telling me what to do anymore. It's actually my relationship with responsibility and feeling like, oh, I have to show up in this certain way, or like I need to do this because I'm responsible for that. That actually pulls me towards doing something versus what lights me up, what makes me excited. And so when I watched, these shows, I was just like, wow, like what would it look like for me to actually ask myself, what am I interested in being extraordinary at? Like what am I wanting to do that no matter what result came out of it, I wouldn't care, because there's the joy in becoming better every single day. And so that's what's been on my mind as I'm sort of like exploring, like ever since I got into the CEO role. And I'm just like, wow, there's a lot of this that like I will do because I will step up like when I have to, but do I really enjoy this? Not so sure about that. And I think that like that's why I'm just wondering, like moving it past to like responsibility, what is it that I really love? So yeah, that's what was coming up like when we were talking about it outside.
So if I were to ask you, what do you want to be extraordinary in? Do you think you have
Yeah.
like an idea?
I think I've talked about this before in like season 1, but I think I honestly think I just want to be a life coach. I think that's just it. Like I think I've always just felt a sort of, I don't want to say the ick like with it, but it's just there's so many coaches that it's so judgmental coming out of my mouth. It just feels very the industry itself. I think there's a lot of people who, it's not regulated, so there's a lot of people who show up in very nasty ways, or like not in integrity. And so I felt an aversion to attaching myself to like that industry or that name, right? And I'm sure you feel similar ways in some ways about the speaking like industry, right? And but then I've been thinking about it. I'm just like, what am I gonna allow this like aversion to prevent me from doing what I love and I think am pretty good at? And so yeah, I think it's like life coaching. I think it's just like really being in that supportive like role for people to just live the most like fulfilling, intentional lives that they can live. I mean, we used like whole last time. But yeah, I think I downplay how much, or I don't know, I don't want to say downplay. I think I've not shared how much my coaches have influenced me and how supportive they've been. And I think because it comes second nature to me to support people and elevate people, I just feel like I don't take it as something that I should do. It's just like, oh, but it's so easy. Like, and then it goes back to the experience of like the thought process that things have to be hard in order for it to be worth it. Things have to be hard in order for me to find some sort of value like in it, when in reality, they always say like you should go for the things that come second nature to you, that come very easy for you. So yeah, that's something that I've been like thinking about. Yeah. I think I'm just like a very calming presence, I think, to be around. And I forget that like a lot of people don't have that, or they're not surrounded by people who bring the best out of them. Yeah. And I think that's like the phase or the person that I can like be for people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think your little like your ick, but not ick.
Yeah.
That you mentioned about the like self-help, personal development, professional development
Right.
world. There can be those people who give us the ick, but at the same time, I think that's why that community needs you more, because there are going to be people who don't need that, but need you, but they can't have you if you're not there.
Yeah.
So Yeah, I'll just leave it at that.
Yeah, so
Ask me what I want to be extraordinary.
yeah, I was just
Isn't
so
that the obvious
Jiggy,
question?
what do you want to be extraordinary at?
I'm so glad you asked.
I was waiting to see if you were gonna say something else before I asked that.
No. I think obviously I would say speaking, but truly what I think my heart really yearns for and longs for, and how it when it feels the most alive, is when I'm able to help somebody feel seen. And not just feeling seen by who they present themselves to be on the exterior, but really like seeing who they are beneath all that, and what they're needing beneath all of that, and the emotions that they're feeling emotions that they're feeling beneath all of that. And that's what I do. Like, the speaking, I think, is the vehicle for that for me. Like, there's a reason why I want to talk to youth. There's a reason why I want to address hustle culture and let them know, like, yo, that's not the only way. You gotta do this. Same like you. Like, there's a lot of people in the motivational speaking industry that are just like honestly kind of preaching really toxic stuff, but some people just need that. Maybe that's their language, but I want to also be able to show people that that's not the only way, and that there can be both, and nuance where it is both working really hard and also resting really easily. And I want to be that voice for people, and be that voice that people have been looking for, because I think that there are a lot of people who are just like, this can't be the only way to do life. Like, capitalism and hustle and grind cannot be the only way to do life. And I think that you and I have gone through that transformation a little bit, where we started to question, like, this entrepreneurship, like, this way cannot be the only way that this is done. And so I kind of want to be that. And this is coming alive for me right now, because when I was at my mentor's for her conference, afterwards a bunch of her like members came to her house to hang out, and we were all just catching up. And one of them was sharing how she's going through like a really tough breakup with somebody that she was basically engaged to. And people kind of like kept asking her questions left and right, talking about like her standards, how she deserves better, how he's trash, like she's too forgiving, like the standards question, like, you're too good for this, and let's get your head right, like, let's focus on you, and like da 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 da. And I think that in a high accountability community of high performers, the conversations can be that way, where it's like, let's know your worth and your value and find you a partner who matches that. And yeah, this dude is trash, you don't deserve that, like those kind of conversations. But I just kind of like listened to everybody, didn't say anything. And when everybody was done and when it was quiet, I was just like, I just want to acknowledge you for whatever grieving you might be going through, because at the end of the day, she was engaged to this guy. Like, it's not easy. As much as we all agree he's trash, it doesn't make things easier. You love the dude. You felt a sense of excitement. I remember how excited she was when she said that she met the man of her dreams. And so, like, that can't be easy. And she came up to me afterwards and, like, gave me this long hug and thanked me for seeing her. And another person came by and told me that that was my gift. And I think that a part of me kind of knew that as my natural sense of support for people. But I really do love seeing the human beneath the beast, as I say in my workshop.
This shameless plug.
But yeah, I like that about myself, and I have other great qualities as well. That's from Marcel the Shell.
Yeah, I got that.
A24 out here killing it.
How many A24 things have we
give a shout out
referenced?
to A24? Come on.
Yeah, I definitely like 100% agree with they're identifying that as like one of your gifts. I think that you see what's like not at the surface. I think you're able to like reach for what's underneath. And I think that you also are comfortable with that. I think like for a lot of people it's just like, oh, let's just focus on like what's next. Like let's focus on the accountability. And I think oftentimes like accountability is like the easiest thing to like focus on, right? I think it feels a little bit more mushy, a little more messy, like to actually be like, hey, actually like I really see that you're hurting, or like I really see that you're in pain. And I think that that's something that like you've always been really good at. But I my hunch is that like you're also good at that because you've seen a lot of things and experiences in your life, and I think you're giving people the gift that you also wish that you were given throughout your life.
Yeah. I think much of my life, especially lately, like I wish I got the permission to slow down. Um, I don't know what made me think I could live and perform and show up for work and for people as if I'm a regular human being with a normal brain. But the truth of the matter is that with every trauma, the brain changes. I don't know what made me think, like, coming back from my dad passing away, like, I thought, yeah, I'm going to give it like a month and then I'll be able to just kill it in my business. It's like, that's literally not how it works. So, yeah, I guess I do. Yeah. I definitely do what I do because I am who I needed back then. Good thing I'm a motivational speaker. Motivational speaking industry always talks about that stuff though. Like I feel like you have to have that gift in order to be a motivational speaker because even Tony Robbins is always talking about like unleash. He has a whole book on it. Unleash whatever is within. It's like always within. I have an academy called Within. Yeah.
What do you think has changed or what allowed you to feel more acceptance? Because like I definitely feel like you're in a phase of your life where I don't want to say like not, it's like you're not fighting against what you know to be true anymore. I think there used to be like a fight against like, well, I have to work like everybody. I have to be normal. So like what shifted for you? Like what caused the shift to be like, you know what, I accept that my brain works a little bit differently. What's that process been like? And the reason why I'm asking is because I think a lot of us feel the pressure to show up normal. When in reality, circumstances, your brain, like you mentioned, do not actually let you like be able to be normal. So like how did you, move through that like process?
Thank you for sharing the intention. It helps me answer my question. You too can set an intention by taking RBTL.
Hashtag gentle inquiry. Sign up for the self-guided course for relating between
lines. Oh my god. We're not going to talk about it again. Oh my god. We talked about it last episode. We're not going to do it again. I think it's been a super, super slow process. Obviously, it took me years to get to this point, and I can tell that I still have such a long way to go in terms of like learning more about myself, learning more about my traumas and my brain, and learning more about how I actually function and operate. And it really like truly took me years. But I think that also goes to show it's always going to be little steps by little steps, and a little step forward is better than no step at all. And I think for me, at the end of the day, like I know the way that I function doesn't work when my body just shuts down. Or it's like if you don't rest, your body will make you. If you choose not to rest, your body will make sure it gets what it wants. And also God. Like I think that if I'm not in alignment with what I'm supposed to be doing in the best way possible, then God is going to position me. And the thing about human beings at the end of the day, it's like we have free will. So even though sometimes we know certain things about ourselves, it's about our own acceptance to do so. And it's not like God's in control to make us rest or anything like that. But at the end of the day, like for me, no matter how hard I wanted to work, my body kept shutting down. Either I got sick or honestly, like I even believe like car accidents happen for a reason. like that. Remember when I got into my car
yeah.
accident?
Mhm.
Why did I think I could work that day? I don't know. And then I remember messaging you, and I think like you asked me if I need to take the day off or something. I was like,
Yeah.
I don't know what to do right now. The next day we had a meeting. Why did I think that I could do a meeting? Did you know? I don't think I ever told you that we had a meeting with you, me, and Norman.
Uh-huh.
I don't think I told you that right afterwards. I just started bawling because that
No.
meeting like stressed me out so much because my head was pounding.
Yeah.
Why did I take that meeting? You gave me the freedom to not attend, and I said
Yeah.
no, I got it.
Yeah.
But it's things like that that I just have to realize that like at the end of the day, we really are not. Give me a substitute word.
We really are not.
We ain't.
We ain't shit.
I don't curse anymore, guys. That's the big update. But I can't curse anymore. I'll just point to you. We ain't.
We are
We ain't.
aware.
We ain't.
are.
We ain't.
Oh, we ain't shit.
Um,
Okay, I said that earlier.
we really not. And I think that like maybe the meaning of life for human beings isn't to.
While we're going here.
Oh, man, maybe it's not to be extraordinary all the time. Because that means that we're constantly going after something. And maybe can we just like enjoy ourselves to get to extraordinary? Because at the end of the day, if we choose a path to be extraordinary in, then I personally think that means that we are accepting our assignment that we have been called to do. That means that we're accepting the purpose that we have for our lives that we've been called to do. And so it's in complete alignment with what we're supposed to be. And therefore, can we just like enjoy ourselves to extraordinary instead of hustling and, consequences of detrimental health? Like, can we just chill? We're gonna get there anyway. How did I get here? What am I talking about? What was the question?
I was asking about your process to like acceptance that your
I kept getting
brain
beaten
works
down.
a different way.
Yeah, I just kept
Yeah.
getting beaten down.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
yeah.
get humbled a lot.
Yeah, I definitely hear there's just this exploration of like life doesn't have to be the same way that it used to be.
I think some things just happen a certain way in order to stop us. And like
I
for
agree.
you, I think like not to speak for you, but like the vertigo.
Oh yeah.
Like nothing could stop you.
Yeah.
Nothing could stop you.
Yeah.
The only way to stop you is by taking you away from your desk
Yeah.
and then taking you to urgent
Urgent
care.
care.
Like that's the only way to stop you.
Yeah. Yeah, I 100% like agree. And I think what's really challenging about this is that like you you can know this, but it's just so different to be actually executing on this. Like I think that's like I think Jiggy and I are okay, not to speak for you, but like constantly in this process.
Oh yeah.
Like this is like y'all think this podcast for you?
It's
It's actually for us.
to let it all out.
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, I'm just thinking a lot about how like we've had shades of this conversation, like I think before, and it's wild to think we're just like unlearning this live basically. Yeah, and I think with the whole like process of just like accepting that your brain works differently, I almost wonder like what does it look like to even like double down, triple down on like that, because I feel like I know for me what I struggle with is just like, oh, like I'm always in this like halfway in between because I'm still struggling with the like acceptance that I can't work a certain way anymore, and I keep fighting that, and I feel like maybe it's not fighting but releasing and letting go of the pressure in order to actually like fully like become a different person. I feel like a fucking caterpillar like becoming a butterfly like moment.
I mean, at the end of the day, like with acceptance, it's actually only supposed to make our lives a little bit easier, because once we accept what we're experiencing or how our brains are or the needs that we have, and we get the help that we need or we do what we need to do, it's supposed to help us like show up for people better. We're supposed to be able to perform and execute in a healthier level and a higher level, like. And that's why I think like, I mean, mental health and therapy and seeking help and being diagnosed with whatever it is that you can be diagnosed with to get the proper help, like, is important. Is supposed to make us live easier. It's just society and older generation keeps talking crap about like us needing therapy so much and mental health all the time, and they're like, back in my day we didn't have so many conversations about mental health, and it's like, yeah, that's why you caused all this pain to us, and that's why we're trying to break it. But it's just hard to like accept just because society's like, you have to be this way. But who said that?
Mm.
The toxic older generation who point fingers at us.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I think we're just on a constant journey of like breaking the cycles.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I think we're like deep in the mud right now.
You're on your Saturn return.
Yeah, yeah, don't remind me.
I don't know what I'm on. Star friends, let me know.
Let us know.
What's after Saturn return?
Yeah. Well, I think that's it for our episode today.
Okay, 2 more to go.
For this season. I can't believe it's so fast.
It was so fast. All right. Bye.